Intentionally, she kept the walls free of excessive decorations, preferring a staggered pattern of light and dark brown brick that surrounded her on all sides. However, the walls did hold 2 poster-sized framed pictures. The first was important but generic, an artistic diagram of the 7 main chakra centers in the body, a guide to the inner sources of spiritual power. The other picture, however, was far more personal, an acrylic painting of her own, photographed and then blown up in size. It was the final painting that she had done right before it happened, before the event that nearly destroyed her, but also the genesis for her career change from part-time museum curator to full-time yoga teacher. Of course, being an artist by nature, she had done some newer pieces in the 8 years since, a few here and there, but this particular one was near and dear to her heart. Facing the photo, it was a close-up of the right half of the face of Buddha on a black background, justified left on the canvas. The face was cut down the center, the single eye closed, perhaps in prayer, painted abstractly, with shamrock green and crimson red and a few peppered strokes of bright gold. In the bottom right corner of the canvas over the dark background was a single open hand, palm up. Hovering over the palm was a heart, not a Valentine's heart, but an actual human heart, veins and all, suspended in empty space. Of all of her works, Alex felt that this painting deserved a spot on the wall because it was one of the rare pieces in her collection that without intention connected who she was with who she had become, the new person that had risen and blossomed from the ashes of despair. However, as she studied her work on the wall that day in the studio, the heart seemed a little bigger than she remembered, somehow more pronounced. Again, she decided to ignore this oddity, especially upon hearing the sound of the freight elevator rising from the downstairs lobby. It was time. Sean arrived dressed and ready to go in his usual tightly fit Under Armour-style shirt, this one a chiseled royal blue. Unlike other Thursdays, his hair was dry and he carried no backpack, only his yoga mat rolled under his arm. She stood up from her own mat upon his entry. Unexpectedly, he dropped his mat unceremoniously on the floor, calmly walked straight up to Alex, and wrapped her tightly in his arms, holding her in an embrace. This was a little unusual, but she did not protest because it felt warm and comforting. Eventually, he pulled back, his hands still lightly on her shoulders, staring deeply into her eyes. "I've been waiting to do that all week," he said. At this, she was speechless. I must be blushing, she thought, wishing that she had a mirror to check. Forcing herself to smile, she raised an eyebrow and pointed at his mat. Taking her subtle cue that it was time to begin, he sheepishly retreated to his usual spot on the hardwood floor, collecting his mat along the way.